Okay, guys, welcome to the In My Air podcast. This is a solo episode in bed. As you can see, I'm joined with my childhood stuffed animal that I cannot sleep without, literally hanging on by a few threads, and my favorite blanket. Okay? Fook. It's been a minute. Okay, it's been a minute. I took a little break because Carly and I took a trip to New York City, which was like the time of my life. I loved every second of it. Oops. There we go. Yeah, it was so fun. New York City was so fun. I'm gonna have Carly come on the pod. Theoretically, we already filmed an episode, but it just didn't feel right. So, I'm here today doing a solo episode saying, first off, that I'm sorry that I have not been posting every Saturday like I said that I would, because I have been trying, but I've been a little bit in a creative funk recently. I'd say that I'm back, though. Now you can count on me every Saturday. I better be posting a podcast, and if I don't, Dad, brother, I expect you guys to text me, tell me to get on that shit. Anyways, yeah, so little life update moment. Overall, doing good. Carly and I just got back from New York on Tuesday, and it's Thursday today. So I've had a few days to kind of recuperate and get back into my scheduled routine. Yeah, took a workout class this morning. Feeling pretty good. Overall, I'd say I'm feeling good in my life, like I'm on the right track, which is a good feeling. Am I stressed? Yeah, definitely, for sure. But like, it's no more than the normal amount. Overall, I'm doing really well. All of my friends are amazing. My family's amazing. I am very grateful for everything. I wanted to come on this episode today and have a little girl talk moment and talk about my experience with hormonal acne, being on birth control, getting off of birth control, and also dealing with bullies. So fun. So not fun. So yeah, it's definitely a more girly episode because the boys, there's just no way you guys care about birth control. So here we are. Let's see. Let's start with my journey with acne. I would say my whole life I've had pretty like mediocre skin, like it's been fine. The last few years I feel like it was really good. Like I had great skin being on birth control, but it wasn't always that way. I was put on birth control when I was 15 years old by my mom and my doctor. It wasn't really my decision. It was more of like my mom just didn't want me to get pregnant, even though I was not having sex. She didn't believe me, so she put me on birth control, started taking it, whatever. And like it made my skin like, pretty regulated. So my skin was pretty normal throughout high school. I never really had that bad of acne besides freshman year. If you try and find a photo from that time, you can't. They don't exist because I burned them all. But after freshman year, my skin was pretty good. College has been really good. And then everything kind of hit the fan a little bit this last fall. So basically what had happened was I got off of my birth control back in March of last year because ever since I got on birth control, like when I was 16 until now, like I have had a little bit of issues, I would say, like with my mood. Like I just always felt really emotional and like not in control and all over the place and like depressed and anxious, and it correlated with when I got on birth control. So I was like, okay, let me just try and get off of it because I don't need it. Shocker. Anyways, I was like, whatever, I'll get off birth control and I'll just see like what my mood is like. So I got off birth control, and for the few months after that, like I would get like more pimples than usual, like hormonal acne, like around my chin and like up on the edges of my cheeks, like by my ears kind of ish up here. And I was really insecure about it. Like I would get like one pimple and I would lose my mind because that's just like how not used to acne I was. And then it kind of got better over summer. And then it all hit the fan with fall. And in fall, it got really bad. Like it would be hormonal all over like my cheeks and my chin, and like I have some scarring now. And I haven't dealt with that kind of insecurity before, but it was like really, really hard. Like I would just call my stepmom crying because I was like, I just feel so insecure because of my skin. Like it's really like hitting me hard. I had a really hard time with it. And like I didn't know how to deal with acne because I hadn't really had it before. And so I am trying all of these new products that are made for acne. I'm trying new medications. I'm trying everything that I can to figure it out. But I'm struggling so hard with it because it's making me feel ugly, And I hate that, like, I even care about that because, like, it's so superficial and it honestly doesn't matter because at the end of the day, like, my friends still love me, my parents still love me, like, that's great, but it does suck with your confidence. Okay. Where were we? Let me think here. So yeah, my skin got really bad, my insecurities really bad. I was really struggling with it. I was like, fuck, do I wear makeup over this? Like, I feel uglier with makeup on. Like, it was a weird balance. But while my skin is getting awful, and in my head I'm like, I will do anything to make it go away, I'm like, I don't want to get back on birth control because while my skin is awful and I'm insecure about it, my mental health has never been better. I have never felt more like myself than I have since getting off of birth control. I feel like I am naturally an emotional person. So, like, I'm still emotional, but I feel a lot more stable in my mood. I feel like a lot less anxious. I would say I have anxious days here and there, but, like, it's never how it used to be. Like, I used to wake up in the morning and just immediately just, like, feel it, and it would stay with me the whole day for months. And same with, like, depression. Like, I would wake up, feel so depressed, feel like there was no purpose, feel like shit. I have not felt depressed or anxious at all since getting off of birth control, which to me really, really says something. And so I was like, okay, well, if me having acne is the price I have to pay for my mental health, then I will pay that because I care more about how I feel than how I look because it's just so superficial, Like, it's just, I am not my skin. You are not your skin. You are not any of your insecurities. You are not the body that you're in, like, at all. Like, all that we are is our actions, like how we treat people, how we treat ourselves, kind of how we're guided. And so yeah, I was like, you know what, I don't care. Like, if I have acne, whatever. That being said, it still sucks. Like, I'll still wake up in the morning and be like, fuck, like, I have so many spots, or oh my gosh, like, there's scars here now. Like, it's hard, but I have kind of grown to be okay with it. But then, I don't know, recently, like, I have had, like, a little interaction with a bully about my skin, which kind of just shook me up a little bit. Just at first, when I got that comment about my skin, I was like, fuck, like, does my skin look that bad that people are noticing? Like, holy shit. And then I was like, wait a minute. None of this matters. I am so much more as a human being than how my skin looks. I am so much more than my body. I am so much more than this podcast, than how I'm doing in school, than the job that I have, than where I live. I am so much more than all of these external factors. And so I cannot take things that bullies say personally. Because at the end of the day, this is what really sticks out to me. No one who is doing better than you in life, no one who is ahead of you, is ever going to look back to bring someone else down. Okay? Let me say that again. No one ahead of you is ever going to bring you down. So if there is someone out there who is putting you down, trying to dim your light, it is because they are so far behind you and they're hurting and they're in their own little world, but they're not doing better than you. They don't know more than you do. They aren't anywhere else but in a darker place. And so I think that's an important thing to remember, because it can be scary putting yourself out there. I feel like I have been really scared, honestly, like doing this podcast sometimes. Like, I'll be afraid about talking about certain things, because anyone can see it, anyone can hear it. I've been nervous about posting on social media because I've tried to be like as authentically myself as I can on social media to bring a more like positive, authentic vibe, you know what I mean? And it's intimidating because I know that anyone can see it. Anyone can hear what I'm posting. Anyone can take an assumption of something that I say, and then twist it. Anyone can do that. But by putting myself out there and by chasing the dreams that I want to achieve, I'm growing. Like, I'm out of my comfort zone every single time that I post a podcast episode. I'm out of my comfort zone every single time I post a YouTube video. I'm out of my comfort zone every single time I teach a yoga class. Like, before I walk into the room when I'm teaching like a yoga sculpt class, before I am like hyping myself up because I am so out of my comfort zone standing in a room like teaching 30 people. Like, it is intimidating to me, but I keep doing it because I want to keep growing even though it scares me. And I think I want to talk about that because I hope that someone listening who is trying to break out of their comfort zone and kind of chase their dreams and be comfortable with themselves, I hope they understand that like people are going to try and set you back, and they're going to try and bring you down and keep you where you are, but you just can't let it affect you in a negative way. You've got to take that negativity that you're receiving from other people and turn it into fuel for why you want to do something different. I had a discussion board in one of my classes today for school, and it was just about authenticity. And maybe I'll actually pull up the note because I put this note in my personal diary from this discussion board because I loved it so much. Let's see. Okay. So basically, this class that I'm in is a meditation class, and the teacher has us do daily meditations and then reflect on them every week. And then we did like a discussion board about it. So, okay, basically, this is what one of my classmates says. This is a quote. "I see a trend in society where people value relevance over authenticity because they often fear how facing the truth can change them." And this was like literally so beautiful. Like, I entered this discussion board for school and I was like, ugh, like I don't want to do this, like blah blah, I'm just gonna do my discussion and get it done. And then I read this person's like discussion and I was like, oh my god, like this man is spitting bars. Like, okay, I'm gonna read it again. "I see a trend in society where people value relevance over authenticity, often because they fear how facing the truth can change them." And I completely agree. People are so concerned about being relevant, being liked by other people, being a certain way to fit into what their parents think they should do, what their friends think they should do, what part of their brain thinks that they should do, that they don't challenge themselves to find what is authentic to them. This person also said, "The things that I own are reminders of what I've done." Oh my god. "The things that I own are reminders of what I have done, but my mind, body, and spirit are what really matter. They make me alive." And this also stood out to me because I feel like, obviously we live in a fucking capitalistic society. Obviously we're kind of ruled by money. I will not lie. Personally, I think money can buy happiness, but that's just beside the point. I think that what my classmate was saying when they were talking about how the things that they own are reminders of what you've done. Things and material items can show how hard you've worked with the price tag, how much that house cost, how much that bracelet cost, XYZ. It can show you how hard you've worked towards a certain thing, but it doesn't show the internal work of where your mind is at, where your body is at, where your heart is at. And I feel like it's so rare to meet someone who genuinely wants to find their own authenticity. You know? Like, it's so much easier to just go along with everything and just never question, like, oh, why do I think this way? How come I act this way? Like, how did X, Y, and Z shape me into this? No one likes to ask questions. And so I think when you're somebody who does try and find your authenticity and kind of break out of the mold of what society shapes you into, there's so much pushback against you, for sure. Like, I don't know, I'm like, guys, I'm just shocked that, like, someone literally just texted me, like, out of the blue to, like, tell me that, like, my fucking skin looked bad. Like, that was crazy. But also kind of cool. I'm like, yo, a hater is still a fan. You know? And if I have one hater, I have one fan. Just kidding. That's just how I'm trying to cope with it. But, I don't know. I think if you're struggling with your skin, like, you're not alone. Like, I am right there with you. It's a daily struggle. Mostly when I get my period, just rockets just out of there, you know? It sucks. But I get it. If you're struggling with being on birth control, being off birth control, I get it. That stuff is hard, and that is such a personal decision, like, to be on birth control or to not be on birth control. Your own decision, you know? I'm not advocating for getting off of birth control or anything like that. I'm just saying it's tough. Either way, whatever you do, it's tough, and you are not alone. And if you're dealing with bullies, you're not alone at all. Like, there will always be people who try to bring you down. And it's just a matter of if you are strong enough to lift yourself up out of it. I think it just comes down to your personal confidence. And personal confidence isn't about how you look. It's not about that at all. I think personal confidence is about how you feel about yourself on the inside, about who you are at your core. Like, if no one were to watch you in a day, 24 hours, the actions that you make and no one were to see, would you feel good about them? You know? Like, do you steal things here and there? You might not be that confident because you're fucking stealing shit. That's so negative. Do you talk negatively about other people excessively? I think some gossip is natural. That's my opinion. You know, it's like, the confidence to me is how in touch with yourself you are. Because I feel like this year, I have, like, really taken so much effort and so much alone time trying to figure out who I am at my core. Like, who I am, like, when I was born into this world as a perfect little baby who did no wrong. Who was I then? Because that is still who I am now on the inside. And yes, I fuck up and I make mistakes, but at the end of the day, I know that my heart is good. I know that I have good intentions, and I know that I would never purposefully do something to bring someone else down. I would never bully someone on purpose. I don't know if I've ever done it on accident. I would never. And so that's also why I didn't respond to this bully, and I just blocked them, because I was like, you know what? My stepmom was like, you should say this. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to block them, not respond, because my revenge to their comment is going to be my success in whatever I do and in my confidence with who I am as a person. And they aren't going to have that, because at the end of the day, bullies are not confident, bullies are not kind, bullies are not happy on the inside. And so your own inner happiness and comfort with who you are as a person is going to be able to set you free. Lastly, if you are a bully, I believe bullies can change, okay? I believe bullies can change because once upon a time, I was a bully when I was in elementary school. I won't lie, I'm not happy about it. I was mean to a few girls in elementary school, and I think about it from time to time. Charlotte, if you're watching, I'm sorry. So sorry. I think I told my friends they couldn't hang out with her, which is fucked up, but you can change. I think when you're a bully, like at least when I was in elementary school, it's because I was hurting so bad from the things that were going on in my life that I just, that was all I knew, was kind of just bitchiness and just being rude. But I think if you're a bully, show yourself some love. Try to love the people around you as much as possible, because I think that will kind of change how you treat people. Because like I said earlier, you are not your body, you are not your acne, you're not your things, the place that you live. You are your actions. You are how you treat others and yourself. So treat others and yourself nicely. Because you don't want to stress someone else out and give them fucking acne, okay? That was a joke. I'm going to leave it there. That was my little talk. Me and my stuffed animal are going to head to bed. No one make any comments about this stuffed animal. This is my heart and soul. I almost cried after almost leaving it in New York City. Don't worry, guys. She's safe. She has traveled the world with me. Alright, I'm leaving it there. If you guys are still listening, I love you. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are capable of finding yourself and achieving your dreams. We're all going to do it somehow. Do I know how exactly? No, but we're figuring it out. And that's what this is about. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. Goodbye, guys. Mwah.